Last week, as you guys know, I did a seminar in New York City for DAS Martial Arts Magazine, and I had invited an old friend of mine to come down who was the former middleweight champion. He came down because, of course, he loves the 52 blocks. He's a Bronx boy. And we got a chance to talk about old times, about how we met, and stuff like that. I'm just telling you guys now because I'm going to show you some of the clips of us talking about it. But there was a lot of noise and other things that was going on, so we necessarily didn't get so you could hear the whole story. So back in the 90s when I had a bar, he was coming by to the bar and everybody was excited because the champ was coming to the bar. And the bar was on 77th Street on the Upper West Side. And when I introduced myself as one of the owners of the bar, he gave me the nod. He was impressed. Okay, brother, because it's the Upper West Side in Manhattan. And if you're familiar with the Upper West Side, you got to know who our clientele was. On that same block was another bar, which was owned by former Bengals and Jets quarterback Boomer Esiason, and it used to be called Boomers. So I ran security for Bournemouth, and I also ran security for Boomers. So everybody was excited that the champ was there, and we got some guy. He came in. He had all kinds of muscles. He's wearing a wife beater, and he wants to come into the bar. At our bar, we don't let people come in with wife beaters. As a matter of fact, you have to have a jacket to come into the bar. That was one of the rules that we had. So when I told him he couldn't come in, the first thing he looked at me and he said, "Yo, you not letting me in because I'm black?" And I said, "Dude, I'm black too, but you gotta have a jacket on." I'm wearing a white linen shirt, white linen pants, a blue linen jacket, nice hanky, white shoes, fedora hat. So you get the idea. I'm always dressed to the nine. So he looked at me and then he walked away and walked down to Boomers. Now he started to talk to the guy at Boomers. The guy at Boomers actually worked for me, but he ran the security there, and he's also NYPD. But he didn't know that. So he leaves, and the gentleman comes, the guy who works for me at Boomers, comes to me, goes, "Yo, Sensei, he gonna come with something." I said, "Yo, Mo, he coming back. He said he gonna come back and shoot you." I said, "Matter of fact," he said, "I'm gonna come back and shoot that N-word." I've been called the N-word all that night. So he says, "I'm coming back, I'm gonna shoot that N-word." All right, cool. To be honest with you guys, I was on my P's and Q's for the rest of the night. Finally, it gets like 1:30, and dude shows up. He shows up and he goes into his waist to get his firearm, and I jump into action because, he can delete me. So I get into action, I grab his arm, I lock his arm into his waist, and I front sweep him. When I front sweep him, I put my knee on his back, and the police came, 1, 2, 3. First of all, because it's the Upper West Side, so police are going to come a lot quicker. But also, I think it's because the guy who worked for me is a cop. So the police came, Johnny on the spot. So I peeled him over. I said, "Look, man, let him know he has a weapon." We took the weapon. Then I moved a little further down. People from the club was coming outside now. Everybody wanted to see what was going on. This is a little bit before, you had all the information on your phone, so everybody wanted to be an eyewitness to what was going on. I walked over, I'm talking to 2 detectives, one detective named O'Leary. As a matter of fact, when you see my movie, Blood Mix, I named one of the characters after this particular real detective, whose name is O'Leary. So O'Leary's talking to me, his partner's behind me. This is why it was an absolute crazy night. I don't know what was in the water. So O'Leary says, "Yo, man, why don't you just take the gun from him?" I said, "Man, I'm not taking a gun, and I'm a black man in the middle of the Upper West Side saying, 'Hey, man, I took the gun from him. I got it.'" I'm not doing that, man. I said, "That's why I kept him on his stomach and I kept his arm locked in where he couldn't move. So when you guys come, you can do the job. So Larry says to me, you know what, I thought you was on the job. I said, I'm not on the job, man. I'm one of the owners. He goes, oh man, I didn't know that. I said, yeah, I'm one of the owners. Each owner has a job. One of my partners, his job was to oversee the bar. The other partner, his job was hospitality. And my job, obviously, was security. You know, I'm the black belt, the martial arts champ, so I'm going to be security. So we all had a job. He said, oh, I didn't know you was one of the owners. I said, yeah. So out of nowhere, some bum, I mean, this dude was sleeping in dirt. He had blonde hair. He had dirt streaks going down his hair. I don't know if it was just dirt or feces or what it was coming down. He had all kinds of stripes of dirt all on his arms. Of course, his clothes were tattered. He looked crazy. And he comes, he said, hey, what you doing with this N-word? I told you, everybody was calling me the N-word that night. What are you doing with this N-word? And he stepped off the curb. He was in between two cars, and he stepped, I'm sorry, not off. He stepped on to the curb. So this bum was like, what are you doing with this N-word? And we're talking, and then all of a sudden, he steps up onto the curb from the street. Without hesitation, just instincts, I front kicked this guy. When I front kicked him, he goes into the traffic. As he's going into the traffic, now I realize I probably messed up. I said one of these cars are going to roll over his head, and I got two eyewitnesses who happen to be two detectives that have just seen me kick this guy into traffic. But lucky for me, the light hadn't changed. It was still red, and he was a junkie or crackhead or on dope or just homeless, and he just popped up. And he said, did you see what this N-word just did to me? Larry looks around and said, what are you talking about? You didn't see this N-word just kick me? Larry said, no, I didn't see anything, man. Maybe you need to move on. He said, but this effing N-word just kicked me into the street. You didn't see that. You need to arrest this. And I started laughing. I'm going, wow, man. He got a racist, homeless bum. Even in the worst state a man could ever be, somehow he thinks he's better than me. I thought that was hilarious. O'Leary looks at him and says, yo, man, I'm going to tell you one more time. You need to keep moving. When I look behind, all of a sudden, I see Barkley. He's looking at the whole thing. And Barkley talks really low, and he says, yeah, man, when he called you the N-word, I knew something was going to happen. And he just smiled and walked away. So that's how I got a chance to meet him. He's a great man. He's a great champion, good guy, and supports me 100%. He's going to be at the convention, the 52 Block Convention. I'm going to have some of the great fighters at the 52 Block Convention in August. Again, I'm Jab Judah. I'm trying to get him to come down. Of course, we're going to have the baddest man in the planet, Juggernaut, will be there, and Barkley's going to be there. So guys, look forward to coming to the convention that we're going to be having in Harlem. In the meantime, I'm just going to show you some clips from the whole affair that was happening and the seminar that was happening in Lower Manhattan. And you get a chance to see me and Barkley talking about that night. That was the craziest night. Somebody tried to shoot me, and a homeless guy tried to attack me and turned into a Klansman. The craziest night was when Barkley came to visit my bar. All right, guys, enjoy. Salute. Thanks, so we're going to start with something like a drill all the way to the island. We're starting with jab cross. If you can't do a two-piece, you can't fight. Jab cross. And then we're going to do something else called head tap. All you're doing is tapping your head, right? Jab, cross, head tap. So let's do that, guys. Let's do jab, cross, head tap. Again, jab, cross, head tap. Again, jab, cross, head tap. Again, jab, cross, head tap. Well, good. So what's happening there? What's happening there is somebody who's scrolling my World Star guys, right? Because I go to World Star because I've never seen this on World Star. Never saw it. Ain't never happened. So I practice it, I train in it, but what I do see is what we call haymakers, and that's with the head tap. So you already know the head tap. Right, the next thing we're doing is for straightaway. Cover the bullet. Cover the bullet. So guys, cover the bullet. Good. Stop. Now, when you do cover the bullet, don't do it in the sense of you're tapping the elbow. That's in the street we used to call people out. That's a call out. That's tapping the elbow. You're not doing anything tapping the elbow. Cover the bullet is he punches and punch again. So watch 1, 2, go. 1, 2. And then I go back to him. 1, 2. Good. Come at me. 1, 2. There we go. 1, 2. All right, guys. 1, 2, 3. Pair off. Let's go back and forward. Work. All right, come down. Cover the bullet. You got it. Another side. Beautiful. Come at me. Good. And what am I doing? Covering the bullet. Oh, that's the bullet, right? I'm coming at you. Elbow. Good. Now you come at me. Good. Stop. Now, when this fighting art started, it was called knocking and kicking. And then it became the Virginia Shuffle. From the Virginia Shuffle, because that's where they got a lot of slaves, came through from Virginia. And then later it became the Carolina Chaos. And then after being Carolina Chaos, it moved on into arts like Stato, which once the slaves left out, they started going to where? Prison. Yeah. So then it became Stato. Then after that, it became, some people call it war fighting or Comstock. New Yorkers called it what? Jailhouse what? Rock. Exactly, and then Jailhouse Rock morphed into... Thank you, that history. That's where we come from. All right, so now here's the next one. Jab, cross, cover the bullet, Sterling crossbow. Sterling crossbow is the most famous, right? Come down. So this is my skull, and this is the crossbow. When he throws that straight punch, good. Other side, good. Again, 1 and 2, protecting your face. Let's find ourselves this goes Sterling crossbow. 1, 2.
It's on top.
Guard
Yes.
up, ready. 1, 2. Guard up, ready. 1, 2. Guard up, ready. 1, 2. Switch to the other side, left and right. Ready. 1, 2. Right. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Okay, so now we're going to put it together like it's a pattern, like it's a form. A lot of us know tap, cover the bullet, Sterling crossbow. Let's go. Jab, cross. Keep working. Keep working, guys. Keep working. All right, stop. 1, 2. Punch in the body 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Stack the deck. From stacking the deck. Good, and then you enter. Another thing in the blocks is a lot of headbutting, a lot of elbowing. A lot of the slashing elbow is important. Slashing elbow, headbutting, very important. So guys claim they're doing 52 blocks. If you're not doing headbutting and short level kicks, the kicks are here to the knee, stomps and scrapes, grab, headbutt, very, very important. So if you want to, and you can add other things, like these guys are jiu-jitsu guys, right? So for the stomach, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I just grabbing his clothes. I shoot that bullet. Now I can do all of this. Now I can, because nobody's giving that to you. You gotta take it. So I'm gonna soften them up through my entry. That's what I wanna do. I wanna soften them up. And it's common, either to the stomach. Good, move out the way. Move out the way. Look, simple, scrapes. But I wanna say this. We gotta be aware of the evolution of martial arts and how the game is changing. Now, back in the day, I hit a dude, wow! He go, oh shit. He might walk away from that. But because of MMA, I'm sorry, I kick a dude in the face, wow! He still think he in the fight. Even though I showed him masterful skills, he's still in the fight. Right? I did my beautiful kick. He's supposed to respect that in the 70s, in the 80s. Now, he wants to grab me. He wants to grab me. And I have to understand, I'm not going to let him take me down. So there's a grappling component as well. One easy for me, if he's got me, is arms go in, go forward, look at that. You got the knee here, and you got another strike there, and what I tell you is very important. The headbutt, and then look at this. A front kick. You don't have to know Taekwondo. You don't have to know. Soccer kicking is good enough. If you can do this, because when you're on the floor trying to get somebody in a triangle, he got a friend, he got an uncle, he got a cousin gonna come along and stomp you in your head. Remember, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guys, that's an upper class martial arts. Why do I say that? Anybody? Because it's $300 a month. That's why I say that. You can't go no place in the city and take a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu class for less than $300 a month. So these guys are middle-class guys talking from a middle-class perspective. They ain't walk this concrete streets.
They ain't on the side.
So their perspective of self-defense may be skewed and unrealistic. Because I know Ray enough now. I know Carlos on the corner. I know how they move. They don't. They've never been in a confrontation. I'm not saying you got to be in a confrontation to understand what realistic self-defense is, but it's good if you understand what that heat is. What did the kids used to say back in the day? You smell me?
You smell me?
What did asking me to smell you meant? Do I smell fear? If I let you know I'm not scared of you, you smell me, right? And you, what does that mean? Do you fear me? Because I don't fear you. Remember that when we're fighting people in the street. And we got to bring pain compliance, very important. So, okay, let's go through this thing again. Sorry. Let's go through this again. Jab, cross, head tap, cover the bullet, skull and crossbones, Shuffle the cards, roll the dice. Good. On your own, let's go work. What's up, man? How's everything? Just a bullet. This is what you call elbow touch. This is coming. Right, when you're doing this, that's not coming.
Boom, yes. Excellent. That's it.
Oh, respect. Bless you, brother.
How you feeling, man? Yeah.
Bless you. No, he was skilling it.
Trying anyway.
Yo, what's up? Salute, family. If I got the world champion win and walking around with his 52 block t-shirt, I know you're going to get yours. But I'm going to talk about a story about back in the day between you and I. Let him hold it. Back in the day, about 20 years ago, I owned a bar called Vermouth on 77th Street. And everybody was announcing that the champ was coming. Remember that night?
I remember.
The champ is coming to the bar. So we're all excited. That happened to be the craziest night that we actually had at the bar. So as he leaves, another guy comes over and he's got what you call prison muscles. There's a difference between guys that are muscular from lifting weights and guys who got that jailhouse muscles, if you know what I mean. He wants to come in the club, actually the bar, but you have to have a jacket. So he's upset. He says he's gonna come back. I also used to run security for the other bar, which is Boomers. You remember Boomers? So I had Vermouth. I was one of the owners of Vermouth and also did the security for Boomers. So my security staff said, listen, that dude is coming back. He comes back and he's got his hammer with him. He tries to take his gun out. I disarm him, put him on his stomach. I wait for the police to come. The police come. He walks out like nothing happened, leaves. I'm holding him down. As I'm holding him down, the cops, police officers that I do know, a couple of detectives, they said, yo, man, why don't you just take the gun, Mo? I said, because they don't know me like I know you. I'm not taking out a firearm in the middle of 77th Street on the Upper West Side. I'm gonna get shot. I ain't doing that. So they took the firearm, and while I'm talking to O'Leary and his other partner is behind me, the bum, actually a bum comes off of the street in between two cars. And what I did was I automatically front kicked him. And when I front kicked him, he fell into the traffic. I'm scared to death. I'm thinking I killed this guy. But he's a bum, he's a drunk. He pops up, he goes, did you see what this N-word just did? And O'Leary goes, I ain't see anything. And you know, like you were saying, once he called me the N-word,
Yeah.
what'd you say earlier? You said you knew.
I said, that's it.
He knew. Once he called me the N-word, that was it.
That was it.
So he got kicked quickly. O'Leary said he didn't see anything. The other officer said he didn't see anything. But what really happened, I talk to you guys all the time, I was scared because I thought I kicked him into traffic. And I thought that he
did. You barely did.
Yeah, well, I thought that the guy was going to, be expired, deleted. So guys, that's just a short story between me and my brother Iran Barkley and how we started to mix. And today we're at this event and he comes out here for me, man. You know, I always appreciate you, man.
Hey, no problem, brother. No problem, brother. I said, you see me had it, boy. You handled it. I said, I got his back if anybody else comes with it. This is crazy.
You heard that? The world champ got my
That was
back.
crazy.
I'm waiting for somebody to start with me. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. Now you know what to do. I want you to punch that like button, elbow that share button, and headbutt that subscribe button. And I'll see you later. Salute.